The light from my phone screen paints my face in a ghostly blue, the only light in our bedroom. Our bedroom. The words feel like ash in my mouth. On the screen, my husband, Mark, is laughing. He's propped up against the very pillows I fall asleep on every night. The gray linen headboard, the one I spent 3 weeks tracking down, is his backdrop. His arm is draped around a woman. Chloe, his new mentee. Her head is nestled on his chest, her blonde hair fanned out across the sheets I washed on Tuesday. They are in our bed. My bed. And they're filming it. He leans in and kisses her, a long, slow, performative kiss for the camera, for the thousands of people watching his live stream. Her giggle is a shard of glass in my ear. He looks directly into the lens, a smug, self-satisfied grin spreading across his face. Sometimes, he says, his voice a low, intimate rumble that I know so well. You just have to upgrade. Out with the old, in with the new. That's the first rule of building an empire, right? The comments scroll by in a dizzying, hateful blur. Savage. King. Who's the new girl? Damn. What happened to Ava? I am what happened to Ava. I am sitting here, 10 feet away from that bed, in the guest room, watching my life implode in real time. The phone in my hand feels impossibly heavy. My thumb hovers over the screen, my own reflection a distorted mask of disbelief. The world shrinks down to this single, obscene image. The smell of lavender and chamomile from my pillow spray hangs in the air, a cruel mockery of the peace I'm supposed to feel in this house. My house. But it isn't anymore. It's a stage for my public execution. My heart isn't breaking. It's detonating. A slow, silent explosion that is ripping through every part of me, turning everything I thought was real into dust and smoke. He didn't just cheat. He's erasing me. He's turning 15 years of my life, of our life, into a punchline for his followers. And the worst part, the part that makes the air leave my lungs in a ragged gasp, is that he thinks he's already won. If you've ever felt that gut punch of betrayal, that feeling of your world tilting on its axis, let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And if you're new here, please subscribe. Your support means more than you could possibly know right now. It wasn't always like this. It feels like a lifetime ago, but it was really just yesterday. Yesterday morning, the world was normal. The sun streamed through that same bedroom window, catching the dust motes dancing in the air. Mark was still asleep, his breathing a steady, familiar rhythm beside me. I remember tracing the line of his shoulder, the warmth of his skin under my fingertips. We were a team. That's what he always said. You and me, Ava, were a fortress. I was the architect, and he was the king. He was the face of Mark Sterling Financial, the charismatic guru who taught millions how to build their wealth, how to live their best lives. I was the quiet one behind the scenes. I wasn't just his wife. I was his partner in the truest sense. I built the systems. I vetted the investments. I managed the portfolios, turning his grand ideas into tangible, profitable realities. He was brilliant at selling the dream. I was the one who actually built the castle, stone by painstaking stone. He would come home, buzzing with energy from a seminar or a TV appearance, and I'd have the spreadsheets ready, the market analysis done. We'd sit at our huge oak dining table, papers spread out between us, and we'd strategize for hours. Those were my favorite times. The world would fall away, and it would just be us, two minds working as one. He would call me his secret weapon. No one knows, he'd whisper, kissing my forehead, that the real genius behind all of this is you. It felt intimate, special. Our secret. I never wanted the spotlight. I loved the work, the quiet satisfaction of a well-balanced portfolio, the elegant complexity of a trust fund structured just right. I loved him. I loved building this life for us. I thought he loved it too. I thought he loved me. Our home was my sanctuary. Every piece of furniture, every book on the shelf, every photo on the wall was a testament to the life we'd built. There's a framed picture on the mantelpiece of us in Italy, 5 years ago. We're standing on a balcony overlooking Lake Como, laughing. Mark has his arm around me, pulling me close. I remember the exact feeling of that moment, The warm sun on my skin, the taste of Prosecco on my lips, the overwhelming certainty that I was the luckiest woman in the world. I look at that photo now, and the woman staring back at me is a stranger. So hopeful.
So naive.
So completely unaware of the fault line running right beneath her feet. The signs were there, of course. They always are, aren't they? You just don't see them until it's too late. The late nights at the office became more frequent. The business trips got longer. When Chloe joined the team 6 months ago, he was ecstatic. "She's a killer, Ava," he'd said, his eyes alight with an excitement I hadn't seen in years. "She's hungry." Reminds me of me when I was starting out. I watched them together at company events. The way he looked at her, the way she hung on his every word. It was a subtle shift, a barely perceptible change in the atmosphere. A little too much laughter. A hand on her arm that lingered a second too long. I told myself I was being paranoid. He was her mentor. I was his wife. I trusted him. I trusted our fortress. A fortress built on a foundation of lies. The first crack appeared 3 weeks ago. An email notification popped up on his laptop while he was in the shower. It was from a jewelry store. A confirmation for a custom order. A diamond necklace. My birthday wasn't for another 6 months, and our anniversary had just passed. I didn't get a diamond necklace. I got a weekend trip to a spa, which he canceled at the last minute because of a work emergency, an emergency that I later found out from a stray Instagram tag was a conference in Miami. A conference Chloe was also attending. I didn't confront him. I couldn't. To say it out loud would be to make it real, and I wasn't ready for that. So I buried it. I pushed it down deep, into that dark place where wives put all the things they don't want to see. I told myself there was a reasonable explanation. It was a gift for a client, a prize for a top employee. Anything but the truth. I chose to live in the comfortable fiction I had created, because the truth was a monster I wasn't ready to face. I kept managing the finances. I kept balancing the books. I kept making him richer, more successful, more powerful. I kept reinforcing the walls of the fortress, even as I knew, deep down, that the enemy was already inside. I was a fool. A loving, trusting, competent fool. And now, the fortress has crumbled. The monster is out. And it's live streaming from my bed. The video ends. The screen goes black, but the images are burned onto the back of my eyelids. Mark's smile. Chloe's hair on my pillows. The casual cruelty of it all. My phone buzzes violently in my hand. A text from him. "Guess you saw the stream. We need to talk. I'll be home in the morning to get my stuff. Not I'm sorry, not can we work this out." Just a cold, logistical statement. He's already moved on. I am just a piece of admin he needs to clear up. The numbness begins to recede, replaced by a white-hot rage that starts in my belly and spreads through my veins like fire. It's a clean, clarifying fire. It burns away the shock, the grief, the 15 years of love and devotion. All that's left is the cold, hard truth. He didn't just betray me. He underestimated me. He called me his secret weapon, but he thought I was a weapon that would never be aimed at him. He thought I was just the quiet, supportive wife who would crumble without him. He has no idea who I am. He has no idea what I've built. And he has no idea that in building his empire, I also built in a failsafe. A little-known clause, buried deep in the corporate bylaws and our personal asset agreements. A clause I drafted myself years ago, on a rainy Tuesday, after reading a story about a wronged wife who lost everything. I called it the Scorched Earth Protocol, a complex, multi-layered trigger based on proven infidelity combined with actions that cause public humiliation or damage to the company's reputation. A trigger that transfers controlling interest of all our co-owned assets and his primary company, Sterling Financial, to me. He signed it without even reading it, laughing as he did. "Whatever you think is best, my genius," he'd said, scribbling his name before rushing off to a meeting. He thought it was just another piece of boring paperwork. He had no idea he was signing his own death warrant. And tonight, with his smug smile and his cheap theatrics, he pulled the trigger himself. He thinks he's starting a new chapter. He doesn't realize he just handed me the entire book. The phone feels lighter in my hand now. My fingers fly across the screen, not with panic, but with purpose. I'm not texting him back. I'm emailing my lawyer. Her name is Eleanor Vance, and she is the sharpest, most ruthless corporate litigator in the city. The subject line is simple. It's time in the body. I attach the link to his live stream. I don't need to add anything else. She'll know what it means. A strange calm settles over me. The tears won't come. The screaming I thought would rip out of my throat is silent. This is not a moment for emotional collapse. This is a moment for strategy. He wants to play the game in public? Fine. But he's playing checkers. I'm playing chess. And I've been setting up the board for years. My king is not him. It's me. And I'm about to declare checkmate. The next few days are a blur of muted colors and muffled sounds. I move through our house, my house, like a ghost. The silence is a physical presence. It presses in on me, thick and heavy. Every object is a landmine of memory. The coffee mug with the chipped rim that he refused to throw away. The worn spot on the sofa where he always sat. The faint scent of his cologne lingering in the closet. I pack his things myself. I move with a mechanical, detached efficiency. Suits, shirts, shoes, all the trappings of the man I thought I knew. I fold each item with a cold precision, transforming our shared history into neat, impersonal piles. It feels less like packing for a husband who left and more like archiving evidence from a crime scene, which I suppose it is. The crime was the slow, methodical murder of our marriage. The evidence is everywhere. I find a receipt from a hotel in the pocket of his suit jacket. A hotel just across town. Dated from a night he told me he was working late. I find a single blonde hair on his favorite sweater. I don't let myself feel it. Feeling is a luxury I can't afford right now. Emotion is a vulnerability. I box it all up and leave it by the front door. A monument to his betrayal. The online world is a cesspool. The video has millions of views. I've been tagged, messaged, commented on. I'm a hashtag now. Hashtag Ava's awful anniversary. Hashtag Sterling scandal. Strangers are dissecting my life, my marriage, my appearance. Some pity me. Poor Ava. She never saw it coming, some mock me. No wonder he upgraded. She looks so plain, most of them are just there for the drama, consuming my pain like it's a Netflix show. Mark and Chloe are leaning into it. They're a brand now. The power couple. They post pictures from fancy restaurants, clinking champagne glasses. They do live Q&A sessions about authenticity and following your truth, my truth. His truth is that he's a narcissist who built his success on my back and then discarded me when he was done. He's painting me as the bitter, clingy ex-wife who couldn't handle his ambition. She was holding me back, he says in one interview, his face a mask of faux sincerity. I needed a partner who could soar with me, not someone who wanted to keep me in a cage. He calls the beautiful life I built for us a cage. I want to scream. I want to log on and tell the world the truth. I want to post the spreadsheets, the investment returns, the documents that show my name, my strategies, my work behind every single one of his successes. But Eleanor's voice is a firm, steady presence in my ear during our daily calls. Not yet, Ava. Let him talk. Let him build his narrative. The higher he flies, the harder he'll fall. We need him to feel invincible. Give him all the rope he needs to hang himself, and so I stay silent. I deactivate my social media. I let him control the story. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It feels like letting him win. My friends are divided. My closest friend, Sarah, is my rock. She shows up with wine and takeout, and just sits with me in the silence, letting me be a ghost without judgment. Others are more complicated. They call with platitudes and probing questions, their curiosity barely veiled by concern. Some of them, the wives of Mark's business associates, have gone quiet. Their loyalty, it seems, lies with the man who can advance their husbands' careers. I am no longer an asset. I am a liability, a social pariah. The loneliness is a physical ache. It's a cold weight in my chest that makes it hard to breathe. One night, I can't take the silence anymore. I walk into our bedroom. His side of the bed is empty, the sheets crisp and cold. I pull back the covers and lie down on my side, staring at the empty space where he should be. The smell of my lavender spray is gone, replaced by a sterile nothingness. I close my eyes and try to remember what it felt like to feel safe here.
To feel loved.
But the memory is corrupted, tainted by the image from the video. Chloe's head on his chest. His smug smile. I get up, strip the bed, and throw the expensive linen sheets, the duvet, the pillows, all of it into a trash bag. I will burn it later. I will burn it all. The legal battle is happening in a parallel universe. A world of documents, depositions, and sternly worded letters. Mark's lawyers are aggressive. They send a lowball settlement offer. A pittance. An insult. It's designed to make me feel small, to make me feel like I have no power. They file motions to freeze our joint assets, claiming I'm emotionally unstable and might dissipate the marital funds. It's a classic bully tactic. Eleanor swats them away like flies. They're trying to bleed you dry, emotionally and financially, she tells me, her voice calm and sharp over the phone. They expect you to get scared and take the first offer. They don't know who they're dealing with. We spend hours going over my documentation. The intricate web of trusts and holding companies I created. The specific language of the scorched earth protocol. I walk her through the paper trail, the years of work that prove I wasn't just a wife. I was the chief architect of the entire sterling enterprise. Eleanor is impressed. My God, Ava, she says after one particularly long session. This is a masterpiece. It's ironclad. He has no idea what's about to hit him. Her confidence is a small, steady flame in the darkness of my days. It's a reminder that I am not powerless. I am just waiting. The waiting is the hardest part. Waiting for the right moment. Waiting for him to make his next move. And then he does. He announces the Sterling Wealth Summit, a massive, 2-day event, live-streamed to his millions of followers. It's his magnum opus. The culmination of his career. He's billed it as the biggest financial event of the year. Tickets are thousands of dollars. Sponsorships are through the roof. The keynote speech is titled, Building Your Empire, How to Shed Dead Weight and Reach Your Peak. The hypocrisy is so staggering it's almost funny. He's using our story, our tragedy, as a marketing tool. He's turning my pain into his brand. That's the moment something shifts inside me. The last remnants of the heartbroken wife die. The grief solidifies into something harder, colder. It's not just about getting what I'm owed anymore. It's not just about justice. It's about taking back the narrative. It's about showing the world who the real architect is. I call Eleanor. He's announced the summit. I say, my voice steady. That's our stage. There's a pause on the other end of the line. Then, I hear a slow smile in her voice. I agree, she says. It's perfect. He's building his own Trojan horse. And we're going to be inside when it rolls through the gates. A plan begins to form. A wild, audacious, terrifying plan. It's no longer enough to win in a quiet courtroom. He dragged my name through the mud in the court of public opinion. I will be vindicated in that same court. He wanted a public spectacle. I'm going to give him one he'll never forget. I start to eat again. I start to sleep through the night. The ghost in the house begins to feel solid again. I am no longer haunting my own life. I am preparing for war. And for the first time in a long time, I feel a flicker of something I thought was gone forever. Hope. No, that's not right. It's not hope. It's the cold, thrilling certainty of a queen moving her final pieces into place for checkmate. The week before the summit is a whirlwind of calculated preparations. My quiet, grief-stricken house transforms into a war room. Eleanor and her team are practically living here. We have blueprints of the convention center spread across the dining table where Mark and I once planned our future. We have timelines, contact lists, and contingency plans. This isn't just about serving him divorce papers. This is a corporate takeover, executed with military precision. The legal documents are a work of art. They are thick, heavy, and bound in intimidating blue covers. There's the divorce petition, citing adultery with irrefutable proof. The link to his own video is on the first page. But that's the appetizer. The main course is the injunction. The temporary restraining order that bars him from accessing company funds. The notice of the emergency board meeting I'm calling as the newly minted majority shareholder. The formal activation of the Scorched Earth Protocol, citing paragraph 12, section 4b. In the event of an act of public defamation by one party against the other, resulting in damage to the brand's integrity, it's all there. Every I dotted, every T crossed. Years of my meticulous, unseen work, weaponized into a single, devastating payload. While Eleanor finalizes the legal strategy, I focus on the public one. I hire a small, independent camera crew. 2 people. A man named David and a woman named Maria. They're journalists who specialize in corporate takedown stories. They understand discretion and impact. I meet them in a quiet coffee shop far from my neighborhood. I lay out the plan. I don't want a messy, shaky phone video. I want it filmed professionally. I want the world to see every detail in high definition. The look on his face. The moment the crowd turns. The exact second his empire crumbles. David raises an eyebrow. "This is damn ambitious," he says, a hint of admiration in his voice. "You're sure you want to do this so publicly?" "He made it public," I reply, my voice even. "I'm just finishing the story. We choreograph the entire event. We get our hands on the summit's schedule. We know exactly when he'll be on stage for his keynote, when the live stream will have its maximum number of viewers. We secure 3 tickets to the event. 1 for me, 1 for Maria with a camera hidden in her purse, and 1 for the process server. The process server is a man Eleanor recommended. His name is Mr. Gable, and he looks less like a legal functionary and more like an aging rock star. He has a calm, unflappable demeanor that I find incredibly reassuring. I've served papers to Russian oligarchs on their yachts and tech billionaires in the middle of the desert at Burning Man, he tells me during our briefing. A financial guru in a convention center? That's a walk in the park. The plan is this. Mr. Gable will walk on stage at the emotional peak of Mark's speech. He will hand him the documents. Maria will be in the 3rd row, capturing it all. I will be further back, a silent observer, filming my own perspective on my phone. We will have 2 angles. 2 perspectives on his downfall. The night before the summit, I can't sleep. The adrenaline is a frantic hummingbird in my chest. I walk through the house, touching the furniture, the walls. It all feels different now. It's not a haunted house anymore. It's a headquarters. A launching pad. I stop in front of the fireplace, in front of that photo of us in Italy. The happy, naive woman in the picture. I feel a pang of sadness for her. For the life she thought she had. For the love she thought was real. But I don't pity her. She was stronger than she knew. She was the one who built the failsafe. She was the one who, even in her happiest moments, had the foresight to protect herself. I take the photo down from the mantel. I don't break it. I don't throw it away. I just turn it face down. It's time for a new picture. A new life. A new me. I spend the rest of the night not in fear, but in quiet contemplation. I think about the man I married. The brilliant, charming, ambitious man who captured my heart. And I mourn him. I mourn the loss of him. The death of the idea of him. Because the man who will be on that stage tomorrow is a stranger to me. A caricature. A fraud who wears my husband's face. And I am not destroying my husband. I am simply holding a mirror up to a monster and forcing him to see his own reflection. The sun rises. It's showtime. I dress carefully. A simple, elegant black dress. My armor. I do my makeup with a steady hand. My war paint. I look at myself in the mirror. The woman looking back is not the ghost who haunted these halls a few weeks ago. Her eyes are clear. There is a hardness in her jaw, a resolve in her gaze that wasn't there before. She looks like a CEO. She looks like a queen. The convention center is buzzing. It's a sea of expensive suits and eager faces. Mark's face is everywhere, on banners, on screens, on the glossy programs. Mark Sterling, build your empire. The irony is a bitter taste in my mouth. I find my seat in the back, just as planned. Maria is in place. I see Mr. Gable near the side of the stage, blending in with the event staff, a manila envelope tucked under his arm. He gives me a subtle, almost imperceptible nod. My heart is pounding, a frantic drum against my ribs. I take out my phone and start recording, my hand surprisingly steady. The lights dim. A hype video plays on the massive screens, a montage of Mark on private jets, in boardrooms, giving speeches to adoring crowds. The music swells. Then, he walks out on stage to a standing ovation. He looks like a god. Dressed in a tailored dark suit, he stands in the spotlight, soaking in the applause. He looks powerful, invincible. Chloe is in the front row, looking up at him with pure adoration. She's wearing a glittering diamond necklace. The necklace. For a second, the rage is so intense it makes me dizzy. But I push it down. Cold. I need to be cold. He begins his speech. It's the usual mix of inspirational jargon and self-congratulatory anecdotes. He talks about vision, about cutting out negativity, about having the courage to shed the things that hold you back.
He's talking about me.
He's using our story as his great success story. There are people in your life, he says, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, who will want to keep you small. They'll be comfortable. They'll be safe. But they are an anchor when you are meant to be a rocket ship. The hardest and most important decision you will ever make is to cut that anchor loose. The crowd is eating it up. They're nodding, taking notes. They see a visionary. I see a thief, selling a dream he stole from me. He's building to his crescendo. You have to be ruthless. You have to be willing to burn it all down to build your empire from the ashes, he shouts, his arms spread wide. That's the cue. I watch as Mr. Gable calmly walks from the side of the stage. He moves with a quiet purpose that cuts through the spectacle. The security guards start to move towards him, but he's too quick, too nonchalant. He looks like he belongs there. Mark doesn't see him at first. He's blinded by the spotlight, lost in his own sermon. Mr. Gable walks right up to him and holds out the manila envelope. Mark Sterling, he says, his voice calm but audible on Mark's microphone. You've been served. The entire auditorium holds its breath. The silence is deafening. Mark stares at the envelope, then at Mr. Gable, his face a mask of confusion. The charismatic guru facade cracks. For a split second, he looks like a lost little boy. He takes the envelope automatically. The crowd is murmuring. The live stream comments must be exploding. I keep my phone steady, zooming in on his face. This is the moment. The point of no return. He tears open the envelope. He pulls out the thick stack of documents. His eyes scan the first page. I see the flicker of recognition. Divorce. He probably expected that. He almost smirks, as if to say, "Is that all?" Then his eyes keep moving. They scan the next page. And the next. I watch the color drain from his face. The confident posture collapses. His shoulders slump. His mouth falls open. He's not just reading about a divorce. He's reading about the injunction. He's reading about the emergency board meeting. He's reading the words scorched earth protocol. He's reading the legal, binding, inescapable truth. He's lost everything. The company, the money, the power. He looks up from the papers, his eyes wild, searching the crowd. For a moment, his gaze lands on Chloe in the front row. Her adoring smile has been replaced by a look of utter confusion and dawning horror. She's starting to realize that the rocket ship she hitched her wagon to is a flaming wreck. Then his eyes find me, standing in the back. My phone held up, recording his humiliation. There's no hate in my eyes.
No angit.
Just a calm, quiet finality. The look on his face is not something I will ever forget. It's not anger. It's not sadness. It's the pure, unadulterated shock of a king who has just realized his castle was built on quicksand. The man who thought he was invincible, brought down by a few pieces of paper he never bothered to read. He opens his mouth, but no sound comes out. He just stands there, in the spotlight, clutching the blueprints of his own destruction. The microphone picks up his ragged breathing. Then, a single, guttural sound escapes his lips. It's not a word. It's a scream. A raw, primal scream of disbelief and utter ruin. And I film it all. I let the camera run for another 30 seconds, capturing the chaos. The security guards rushing the stage. Chloe frozen in her seat. The audience in a state of stunned, buzzing confusion. Then I stop recording, turn, and walk out of the auditorium. I don't run. I walk with a steady, deliberate pace. The screams and shouts fade behind me. By the time I reach my car, my hands are shaking. The adrenaline is fading, leaving a hollow, trembling emptiness in its wake. I sit in the driver's seat for a long time, just breathing.
In, out, in, out.
It's done. Back at the house, I upload the video. I don't edit it. I don't add music. I just upload the raw, unvarnished footage from my phone. The title is simple. Mark Sterling gets served at the Sterling Wealth Summit. For the description, I don't write a long, emotional paragraph. I just write one sentence. Sometimes you have to shed dead weight to build your empire. I use his own words against him. Then I add a link. A link to a password-protected website I had created. On the website is a single PDF document, a detailed, heavily redacted but legally verified summary of my role in building Sterling Financial, including key investment decisions, structural diagrams of the holding companies, and the full text of the scorched earth protocol he triggered. I email the password to a handful of trusted financial journalists that David and Maria had recommended. Then I turn off my phone. The next morning, the world has exploded. My video has more views than his original live stream. It's everywhere. News outlets, gossip sites, financial blogs. The narrative has not just shifted. It has been completely rewritten. My video, paired with the irrefutable evidence on the website, tells the full story. The journalists, armed with the proof, are calling it the smartest, most brutal divorce settlement in modern corporate history. I am no longer poor Ava. I am the architect, the woman who built a billion-dollar trap, the real Sterling genius. The comments are a tidal wave of support. She played the long game. This is better than a movie. He called her dead weight, but she was the whole damn ship. Mark is in freefall. His sponsors are pulling out. His followers are abandoning him in droves, feeling conned and betrayed. His carefully crafted image of a self-made titan has been shattered. The world now sees him for what he is, a charismatic fraud who is outmaneuvered by the brilliant wife he took for granted. But the real twist, the part that even I didn't fully anticipate, comes from Chloe. She releases a statement. A long, tearful video. She claims she was a victim, too. That Mark manipulated her, lied to her about his marriage, and promised her the world. She paints herself as another one of his casualties, a young, ambitious woman taken in by a predator. She's trying to save her own skin, to pivot, to rebrand herself as a survivor. It's a smart move.
And it works.
Some people buy it, but I know the truth. I saw the ambition in her eyes. I saw the triumph on her face in that video. And as I watch her performance, I don't feel anger. I feel a strange sort of pity, because she doesn't get it. She thinks the prize was Mark. She thinks the prize was the money, the lifestyle. She thought she was winning an empire. But the empire was never his to give. It was always mine. And a queen doesn't need to fight over a jester. The ultimate victory isn't the money or the company. It's the quiet, unshakable knowledge of my own worth. He didn't just lose his fortune. He lost the person who made it all possible. And that is a loss from which he will never, ever recover. The weeks that follow are a blur of legal proceedings and corporate restructuring. The emergency board meeting is a formality. With my controlling interest, I vote to remove Mark from the board and from his position as CEO. His name is stripped from the company. We rebrand. It's no longer Sterling Financial. It is now Apex Advisory, a name that reflects strength, precision, and integrity. My integrity. I step into the role of CEO. Not because I want the spotlight, but because it's my work, my creation. I owe it to myself to lead it. The first few days are terrifying. I'm used to being behind the scenes. Now all eyes are on me. But I find my footing quickly. The work is the same work I've always done. The only difference is that now I get the credit. The name on the door is mine. I sell the house. I can't live there anymore. Too many ghosts. I buy a smaller place, a penthouse apartment with a view of the entire city. It's clean, modern, and filled with light. It has no history. It's a blank page, waiting for me to write the next chapter. I pack only what I need. I leave the expensive furniture, the art, the remnants of our shared life behind. I take my books, my clothes, and the one picture I decided to keep. The picture of me and Sarah, my friend who sat with me in the darkness, laughing on a beach vacation years ago. A reminder of a love that is real and true. One evening, I'm working late in my new office, the city lights twinkling below me like a fallen constellation. An email comes through. It's from Mark. The first direct communication since the summit. It's not from his corporate account, which has been disabled, but from a generic personal address. The subject is just my name. Ava. I hesitate for a moment, my finger hovering over the delete button. But curiosity gets the better of me. I open it. The email is short. Pathetic, really. He's begging. He says he made a terrible mistake. He says he was arrogant, foolish, that he didn't realize what he had until it was gone. He says he still loves me. He asks if there's any chance we can talk, any way to undo this. He says he's nothing without me. The words are the ones I once longed to hear. The apology I thought I needed. But reading them now, I feel nothing.
No anger. No satisfaction.
Just a profound, empty sadness. He's not sorry for what he did. He's sorry he got caught. He's sorry he lost. He doesn't miss me. He misses the life I provided. He misses his secret weapon. I don't reply. I simply mark the email as spam and block the address. He is no longer my concern. He is a ghost from a life I no longer live. The silence in my apartment isn't heavy anymore. It's peaceful. It's the sound of my own thoughts, my own breath. It's the sound of freedom. I am not defined by his betrayal. I am defined by my response to it. I didn't just survive. I built a new empire from the ashes of the old one. My empire, built on my terms. And this time, the queen is sitting on the throne. Thanks for being here with me through this. It means a lot to share my story. Subscribing to the channel helps me bring more of these to life, and I'd be so grateful for your support. If this story hit close to home, I'd love to hear your version in the comments. We're all architects of our own lives, after all.